Hey howdy, it's Morgan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about, well, artist block. If you're an artist, you have probably had to deal with it, so I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit just because as a comic creator who is on hiatus, I've lost one aspect that has kept me going previously, and that would of course be interaction. I don't get the satisfaction of seeing people's reaction to the episode I just finished, and instead I still have to wait for a while. But I wanted to go on here and talk about it a bit, especially since I'm currently functioning on a 6-day week with 0 breaks. Once one episode ends, the next one must begin. And it has been a pain because of the fact that I got sick one week and I've been behind ever since. I pushed my entire schedule back by a week and I'm still behind. So that's a lot that I have to go fix, and part of it has been due to artist block, and it's because in this 6-day week, I do occasionally lose the motivation to do the drawing. And it's only natural. I don't get to see a key aspect of this kind of art that I'm doing, and instead I have to wait for it, and I'm kind of just relying on myself to keep going. And it's worked out for the most part, of course, but, you know, as of late, it's been a little bit of a struggle. So this is less of a tip video, and this is more just like what I do to deal with it, because I figured it might be helpful to some people to hear less tips and more just like, this is an explanation of what I do. That certainly helps me more than like a tip video, because you know, tips aren't gonna work for everybody. That's just the way of life. Humans function differently. We all don't like function on the same mindset. So this is less tips, more like what I do in a neat list. So oftentimes when I start realizing I'm experiencing a little bit of art block, I go to a different area of the art. Because I'm doing comic work, I have several pages to be drawing at the same time. So if I'm drawing page 1, but I find that I am struggling so much with it, I'll go work on like page 5 because I know that it's going to be an easier one. Or I know that if I finish page 5, then pages 1 through 6 might be completed a lot easier. It always also depends. Right now, because I'm functioning on the 6-day work week and I don't have a super consistent schedule to keep up with, I have been hopping actually from comic to comic because I've been behind. So if I get sick of working on Paperclips, which I did for a lot because I was working on that thing for almost 41 hours, I will just go switch to working on Ratu. And that also helps because it's the change of pace. I'll do the same thing with like the rough sketches of the different comic. If I'm struggling with Paperclips page 79, I'll go struggle with Ratu's rough sketching for one of the future episodes that I'll have to do. And it kind of just, it helps to like settle down and look at it all in a new area, and I go back to it with fresh eyes. Occasionally even just going to an actual different location helps as well. I've sketched in like the doctor's office waiting room while I was waiting for my mother to get done with her stuff, and I would just sit there and draw, and for an hour I would get so much work done. And I don't know, it's just super helpful. I like having other people while I draw, not like to talk to or to like interact with in any way, but to just exist in the same place as me, and it's super helpful for me. Other times I'll have to go pull my sketchbook out. Sometimes it's so helpful when I'm stuck on this one specific part, but I'm really invested in this super future thing that I won't be able to draw for a while. So I'll pull out my sketchbook and just start working on some of those future things, and that change of pace helps as well, because then it's like, I've worked on this thing I'm really excited for, let's go get back to the stuff that's gonna get me there, because I so want to get there as fast as I can. Not so fast that it feels like I'm pressuring myself to complete it, but enough so that I can feel like I'm just getting somewhere that I want to be. Other times I'll have to give up the drawing altogether for a little while, and so instead I'll go write something. Especially right now, it's NaNoWriMo. I love NaNoWriMo, and because I'm working on something for NaNoWriMo that actually is in line with Paperclips specifically, I still feel like I'm doing something useful with my time while I'm waiting for the motivation to come back and hit me again. So oftentimes I'll go work on like the idea generation doc for the next season that I have to be scripting soon, or I will just go write that novel that I'm working on. I haven't always been working on the novel, obviously, because I started it for NaNoWriMo. I have several documents for like shorts, If I'm really excited about getting into Cleo and Lily's relationship, or Ronnie and Maeve's relationship, then I'll go to their separate docs and work on them instead. Worst case scenario, I turn to fanfiction. Both writing and reading, and no, I'm not telling you what fanfic I write yet. But I will go write or read fanfiction, and it's a terrible idea because I will get suckered into the fanfiction and I won't be able to move from it for the entire rest of the day. And so I just have to stop doing that one, but I'm currently in a funk where I really want to go read all the fanfiction I have, and yeah, it's not good. It's never good. Don't read fanfiction when you're supposed to be doing something. And occasionally, if I really don't feel like doing anything, or I'm not in a mood to read fanfiction or read anything else, I'll just go get myself a cup of tea. It's just like a plain cup of Earl Grey with like 2 sugar cubes. I'm quite basic, but it's good. And sometimes all I really need to get back into the mood of drawing is a change in playlist. You don't know how helpful it can be to just like change what you're listening to in order to get back to work. If I'm drawing one specific thing, I probably have a song that goes with it. So instead of listening to this general playlist I have for the entire story, I'm gonna go put on these 1 or 2 songs that correlate with what I'm drawing presently, which is great when I'm like stuck listening to exclusively one song and can't listen to anything else. Whatever. I've had several of those kinds of things. I listened to She Used to Be Mine for weeks on end without changing the song. Same thing with Memory from Cats. I came to Cats obsession for some reason, so I would exclusively listen to Memory for a few weeks. But that's how life goes. And there is something I am blaming on that Cats obsession, and I will tell you what it is when we get there because it's a major spoiler, but it's so funny. Oh dear god. So a change in playlist is always nice because it correlates with that little like change of pace thing that most of my other things are. Sometimes I also just need a regular drink. Instead of a cup of tea, I'll go get some water or a Mountain Dew. It's always Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew. Or I'll get some bubble tea. Anything that helps with like a change of environment or change of just idea helps with the change of pace, which resets my brain in order to help me try to get back into drawing. Of course, it doesn't always work, but a lot of the time it can be helpful to just go with a couple of the things on my list. And if all else fails, if I'm at the tail end of something and I really just want to go do something else, my brain will just start chanting, "Let's go, Morgan, let's go." And it's the stupidest thing in the world, but it goes, and it works, and I don't know why it works, because I hate it, but that is something my brain does. It's just a little pep talk, because come on, you can get through this, you can do this, everything is gonna be okay, this is fine, and it works. I don't know what to tell you, it works. It's the weirdest little thing in the world, but it works. For me, at least. So I don't really know if any of that was going to be helpful. On screen this entire time I've been drawing Ratu Season 2, Episode 4. It's the first 2 pages of that episode, and it'll be a while before that episode gets published, but hey, you get a sneak peek at the first 2 pages! Isn't that fun? Even though you have no context, because Ratu did not originally get this far. Anyway, I don't know if you could find any of that helpful. I don't know if it's really just me rambling for 8 minutes. Hopefully it's 8 minutes or less. But if you did, good for you. Go have fun drawing. Just go have a good time, man. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.